To wrap up season number 4 of the West Coast Swing for the Powerade Truck Series, we're here in Willow Springs International Raceway for the first time ever here in California. First time ever in the series and first time ever on NS Racing 97. And very interesting one here at Willow Springs. And I'm not alone for this one. I am joined by Alexander Graham and none other than Andy Miller.
Yes.
Hello.
Excited for this one. Good road course.
Good to be back on. Your channel, Nathan. It's been too dang long.
Yeah, it's been a while, but last time we had a race in the Powerade Truck Series last week at Las Vegas. You just stole the win from the full-timers, so maybe Clone can do that again this week, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Never been to Willow Springs before. Seen a lot of other NRAs do a lot of other races in the past couple of years, especially on Little Train Rounds. A very unique racetrack, very fast road course as well for these truckers.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an interesting road course, very wide, sweeping course as well. So a lot of opportunities to really get a run on the driver ahead of you. It's going to be fascinating to see what these trucks do, though, the GNS physics in these machines. But obviously qualifying here, top 4 make it on. I think I'm right about that. And we'll just have to see who makes it on. See if Andrew Miller makes it on again. Just have to see.
I'm fingers crossed there, but I mean, heck, if I can. First off, if I could ever translate how I did at Las Vegas to my online career, that would be absolutely wonderful. But no, yeah, this is definitely going to be a different challenge for these guys. Obviously, as you see it's a pretty narrow track with all kinds of dirt runoff there, so mistakes will be punished rather heavily.
Yeah, and from what we've seen in testing with it being such a narrow road course, if you go off track, it's not going to be a good thing whatsoever. There's a couple of trouble spots, especially in that turn 5, I believe that, let's see here. Yeah, this turn right here, this might be a trouble spot right there on that second part of that turn. Might see some contact and then right there might go off the racetrack as well, but I've waited and see. You've never been here, but these truckers are putting on a little bit of a testing ground, I guess I can say, because there are rumors that maybe, depending on how well the truck race go, it might be added on to the Season 5 Cup schedule. So a lot of pressure for these truck guys to put on a good show for the first time ever at Willow Springs. And times are starting to get clocked in here as the 97 of Sam Oskin goes fastest for 121.314.
Yeah, and the Cup Series on my end, Wawa Cup Series, will be here in June, so definitely looking forward to that. We had the IndyCar Series here not too long ago, so it's only a great road course, definitely a hidden gem in NR2003. Kind of discovered this track, I think, around 2020, and then we started using it around that point. But like I said, your first time using it, Nathan, I think we're going to have a great race tomorrow for this Qualcomm 175K. Meanwhile, it's going to see these guys clocking times. I think it's the first time right there. 54 is going to be the fastest right there, Skylar Taylor.
Putting down some of the first flying laps here so far. A few of those guys were in a little pack there. Doesn't look like it really affected the lap times too much since 28 was all by himself. So not really slowing him down, not really speeding him up. So I think that's going to make it pretty much show that it should be a pretty even style field here. Of course, hoping if that 47 has some good luck in getting in, but no, good luck to all these guys trying to make it in. I think, as you said, final 4 or the fastest 4 get in. Is that correct?
Yeah, the fastest 4 make it into the show, and so far that's the 41, the 62 that sits in the 3 as the number 3 of Owen Miles just jumped up to 3rd fastest, and that Jordan Anderson racing number 3, and have to see of who can make it in here. The 47 of Anna Miller Little Clone is in 12th at the moment. And Trevor Williams Jr. went up to the top of the board. And gonna be interesting to see how many flying laps these trucks might be able to have here in this session. It's about 115, so maybe 4 or 5 laps on these tires. But I don't know what the tire is going to be like. I know it's going to be about 8, 9, 10 laps on fuel. But tire is a big question mark here for these truckers as the 35 of Barretto goes up to the top of the board.
You got Igor Barretto there, Trevor Williams Jr., 62 machine, Logan Williams, and then the 10 of Timo Mauser. I actually think, I had trouble pronouncing. You had trouble pronouncing that the other time, and now I'm having trouble pronouncing it. Mauser. I'm gonna go with that. Hopefully I'm right about that. I'm usually pretty good with pronouncing names, so we'll have to see if those three hold on to their times. Looks like most of these drivers have gotten the fast lap in. So it's going to be fascinating to see who gets it done here with 4 minutes left. But that first lap's generally going to be the best one here at Willow Springs. And otherwise, if you don't get a good lap initially, you might not end up getting a good lap at all. And that could definitely be an issue for some of these guys who maybe didn't get a good time initially and are still out there wearing their tires down.
Yeah, they're probably also just trying to gain a little bit of experience. I mean, you see how much they're sliding around, though. That's making me a little worried for maybe just how aggressive guys might become the main event here. I mean, as of recording this, AG just got done streaming his IndyCar race from Coda, and I got very similar kind of vibes from that. Very low grip, very slidey, and guys getting into each other and heading out into the wall. So hopefully we won't see too much of that in the main event, but could definitely be a possibility and could make for some thrills and excitement.
Yeah, from what we've seen in practice and testing, it's a bit sketchy. 2-3 wide might, 2 wide is gonna be fine, but we've seen some instances where 3 wide turns into 4 wide after someone gets turned and comes back up the racetrack and causes a whole calamity. So it's not a lot of room. There's a lot of one-off, but there's not a lot of on-track room, and I have to wait and see where these passes get done. Unfortunately for Lord Andrew is currently in 8th, so not looking good for the 47 to make it into the second straight race. And I do believe that times are starting to get a little bit falling off, and I think these tires are not going to be as good now here. With 2.5 minutes almost here in the session, it's still the 35, the 14, the 41, and the 62. The 14 of Cole Raymond actually jumped up inside the top 4. I didn't even notice that for the number 14. Great lap.
And speaking of that IndyCar race that Andrew was mentioning, Cole Raymond won that IndyCar race at Circuit of the Americas. So, if it ends up translating just how he predicted, Andrew, Cole Raymond could have a good run. Of course, these part-timers have been doing an excellent job so far here. Obviously, we saw that last time out at Vegas with Andrew winning in that race. But Cole Raymond definitely going to be a threat to win, I think, if he can make it in.
Yeah, right you are. I mean, obviously, probably a good road ringer, perhaps. But no, I don't know. This is going to be interesting because I myself, I mean, obviously, you guys have more experience with this track than I do. This will be the first time I've ever really sat down and watched or partaken in a race at this track. So it's a big question mark for me as to exactly what we're going to see, and I'm excited.
The great unknown here at Willow Springs, the first of 2 road course races on the scene. Of course, later on in the chase, we will go to the Glow Classic and normal road course race of Watkins Glen, but this one way early in the season to in the West Coast Wing. And right now, I think if you're in the top 4, you should be in at the moment. Barretto, Raymond, Williams Jr., and the 62 of Logan Williams. And I think that's going to do it, most likely. Unless someone comes out off pit road and does a magic fly lap, I think that might do it here. And I don't know what to expect here for the Qualcomm 175K. First time ever here on NS Race 97. And for these guys, they've been keeping it clean and green. But when we have 40 trucks on track for the main event tomorrow for race 4, I don't know what's going to happen for this one.
I'm excited to see how it all goes down. It'd be fun to have 40 trucks on, it's 40 trucks, correct?
Yeah, and
40 trucks on the track as 41. Never mind. As I was saying, well, I lost it there. I'm not a good co-commentator, and I apologize, Nathan. I'm normally in your position. It's going to be fun to see 40 trucks on the racetrack here. I think we will definitely see some attrition, especially turn 5 up the hill, like you mentioned. It's going to be fascinating to see how that ends up coming into effect, but also I think we may see a couple passes for the race lead, and of course with the cycle of pit stops, that'll also affect it, so it's going to have everything you want in the road course race, but you definitely want to be starting up front, and we'll have to see how that starting lineup ends up playing out once we get to it.
43. Just had a moment. That was interesting
That's,
for Tyreek Hartman.
I don't think that's where you want to be, just out in the middle of no man's land. And I think we've seen a couple of single spins here, or at least some dumping ones, and that might be what we have. That might be part of what we see here. We saw at least a 43, maybe someone else do it, and we have to wait and see if that translates over to the Qualcomm 175 tomorrow, as these guys are going to have some extended time. But I don't know of how much it's really going to matter. I think Boyle's going to be in, same with Cole Raymond, same with Trevor Williams Jr., and same with Logan Williams in the number 62 machine. And this is going to be a wild one, I do believe, for the fourth race on the season, and a wild Jekyll and Hyde type of West Coast swing. A absolutely chaotic all club race, a calm but good Las Vegas. Now we have to see what happens here at Willow Springs. And I do believe that's going to be the final reset, so it should be the last 20 seconds here, and it should be the 35 of Willow topping the charts here. And it looks like that might be the case. Once the tires took into some wear and they weren't really able to get any faster, and that's gonna do it. So that is gonna do it here for Uncharted qualifying. It will be Boletto, Raymond, Trevor Williams Jr., and Logan Williams making into the field, and then for everyone else from 5th on back, they will have to wait 2 weeks' time till we go to Richmond Raceway for the first time ever for the Powerade Truck Series. And that will start 2 straight races of short track racing. But guys, we're in for an interesting one for the first time ever at Willow Springs here on NS Race 97 tomorrow here. And I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't.
You can definitely see, a lot of passing, I feel like, throughout the field. I don't know if whoever starts on the front row is going to win, but you definitely want to start top 10 if you're going to get a win in any road course, really, for that matter. So it's going to be fascinating to see how that all plays out, but looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to be excited to see this here. Of course, bumming I didn't make it in, but that's what I get for being lollygagging into the signups. So, sorry there, but no, I think this is going to be a really fun one. I am intrigued to see if it's going to come down to attrition, like Alex said, or if it's just going to be clean and green. We'll wait and find out.
Gonna be interesting for sure. 15 laps on tap for race 4 on the season, and to end the West Coast swing tomorrow here on NS Racing 97 at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, we will see you guys tomorrow at Willow Springs International. Bye bye.